Good morning, Dragons, and welcome to the solution set for Activity 4.2, Problems and Puzzles. It says for each equation, for each question, write an equation to represent the situation and then solve it to answer the equation. A situation may require more than one equation. So these are kind of lengthy word problems, and again, in the Google form, all you could answer was with a numeral response. You could not add units, you could not add your equation. All you could answer was with a numeral. I did work these out in advance. You can see my crazy work here on my original version. So you can see that I did try it multiple ways, multiple times, multiple equations. I'm going to walk you through it. And for some of the calculations, I might go ahead and provide you the answer instead of working it out because I don't want this video to be any longer than 20 minutes. Kendra bought some back-to-school supplies for $1.70. She showed them to her friend Naya. 2 erasers for 2 cents each, 5 markers for 4 cents each. She also bought 8 notepads, but she forgot how much she paid for them. She did not pay sales tax. Naya said that she was not charged the right amount. How did she know? And I went ahead on the Google form and said, she knows because of the price of the notepad, so I need you to tell me the price of the notepad. Here's how we can attack this problem. $1.70 is 170 cents. She's got 2 erasers for 2 cents each, so that's taking away 4 cents. She's got 5 markers for 4 cents each, so that's going to take away 20 cents. So altogether, we're going to take away 24 from 170. That is going to get you 146. Now, 146 cents is going to be spread across to purchase 8 notepads. We need to know the cost of each notepad. What operation would you need? 8 notepads all together cost 146. If you said division, you're right. So let's try it. We're going to divide 146 cents. The reason I took the decimal out is because they didn't use any decimals here. And I'm just going to do some long division. I have a feeling I'm going to run out of room. In fact, I know I'm going to run out of room. So I'm going to turn this sideways. Let's do it this way. I'll have more room this way. Okay, 146 divided by 8. 8 goes into 14. 1 time. Subtract 6. Bring down. Goes in 8 times. 64. Subtract 2. Decimal. Bring down. 2, 16, 4, bring down, 5, no remainder. We like no remainder. That makes us happy inside. Okay, so there was some quick division for you. So this is telling me that each notebook costs 18 and 25 cents. It doesn't even make sense. So it's saying it costs 18.25 cents. Not dollars. This is what each notepad costs. So on your Google form, I would have accepted a couple different ways because this is written very unusually. So in your Google form, I was either looking for 18.25, and then I was accepting also this format on your Google form. So these were 2 acceptable answers for the price of a notepad. So it's unreasonable that the store would charge a notepad a partial cent. It wouldn't make any sense. Even when we write it in this format, we can see that a notebook would never cost this. It would stop here. Very good. We're on to the next one. The Bermuda Triangle is an imaginary triangle connecting Miami, Florida, to San Juan, Puerto Rico, to Bermuda. When I was young, they used to talk about the Bermuda Triangle a lot. Okay, it's this guy here. The Bermuda Triangle covers an area of 454,000 square miles. So they're saying this whole area is 454,000 square miles. The dashed line on the map shows a distance of about 926 miles. What is the approximate distance from Bermuda to Puerto Rico? So we are hunting for this from here to here. Well, we haven't done a lot of geometry this year, but I do know that a triangle area is half that of a rectangle. And a rectangle is base times height, so it's just base times height cut in half. So I'm going to start with the area formula of a triangle to try to work this out. Area equals 1/2 base times height. What information do I have? I know the area. That's the part in yellow. 1/2 is unchanged. That coefficient is unchanged. The base. The base would be what I'm looking for. I don't know the bottom of my triangle. So I'm going to leave that alone. And my height, they told me how much that is. They said it's 926 miles. So now I have to isolate the variable. There are several ways to accomplish this. I can take 1/2 of 926 and make it the coefficient for b, which would be 463, which might be the easiest for you. So take 1/2 of 926 and do 463. B. B didn't go anywhere. Now if I do that, this side remains unchanged, which is cool. We can leave it like that. Now what I need to do next is I need to isolate the variable. Currently, this number, this coefficient is attached to this variable. We need to unattach them using inverse operations. So I need to divide both sides by 463. For the sake of time, I'm going to do it on the calculator, though you do know I did it by hand before because I showed you. All right, so I get this crazy number, but it says, what is the approximate distance? You have to be careful with the language here. So I'm looking at this crazy number, 980.561555551. I'm going to make it round to the nearest whole number. I'm going to say, from Bermuda to Puerto Rico is about 981 miles. So B is approximately 981. What does that look like on your Google form? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. In your Google form, it is just 981. That's it. Okay, this next one was fun. Created quite a long equation for me. Emmett School is an unusual school. It has 1,677 students in grades 3 through 6. There are twice as many 5th graders as 6th graders and 3 times as many 4th graders as 5th graders. Finally, there are 5 times as many 3rd graders as 4th graders. How many 5th graders are in Emmett School? Whew. Okay. Originally, I tried to use S as my variable, and then I would confuse my S's and my 5s, and I told you guys I do that sometimes. So I'm going to go with X. X is going to represent 6th graders for me. And then this requires actually a really long equation, because you need your 6th graders plus your 5th graders plus your 4th graders plus your 3rd graders, and all of those variables and terms they're going to add up to equal 1,677 students. What's that look like? Sixth graders are unchanged. They are just X. There are twice as many fifth graders as sixth graders. So there's 2X fifth graders. There's twice as many, so it's 2X. There and 3 times as many fourth graders as fifth graders. 3 times as many fourth graders as fifth graders. So that is 3 times whatever the fifth graders are. There are 5 times as many third graders as fourth graders. So I am 5 times 3 times 2x. It's kind of cool. Now, I need to simplify each term using the multiplication. Then I'm going to combine like terms. What do I mean? I mean I've got x plus 2x can stay the same for my first round. Now I need to do 3 times 2x, which is 6x, plus 5 times 3 times 2. 5 times 3 is 15, times 2 is 30, so I've got 30x. The other side is unchanged. It's a constant. Now I can add all these up. Remember, there's an invisible 1 here, so it's 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 30. 36, 37, 38, 39. 39x equals 1,677 students. I need to solve for x. Now right now, I'm basically out of space, so I'm going to try to scoot over here. I'm going to have to write a little bit smaller to get the rest of the work in. I've got 39x equals 1,677. 39 and x are attached using multiplication. To detach them, I have to do the inverse operation, which is division. Detach, detach. When I do that, I leave x alone. For the sake of time, I'm going to use the calculator. Wrong. Let's see if this is what I got before. No, typing something wrong. Is that what I got before? Did I get x equals 43? I did. Okay, so yesterday on my calculations, I did get x equals 43. And yesterday, I was like, oh, I should be done. Let me read the question, make sure I answered it. Be careful, friends. It says, how many fifth graders? How many fifth graders? Well, fifth graders were not x. X, if you go back, represented my sixth graders. They want to know how many fifth graders. So how many guys right here? What do you have to do? The fifth graders is 2 times x, which is 2 times 43, which is 86. So what goes inside your Google form? What do you put? All you type is 86. You do not put a label. You do not put anything else. You do not say 86 fifth graders. You do not need to say 86 students. You just put 86. That one I liked because I like that it's kind of a riddle. The math is actually not terribly hard on that one. You just have to figure out what all your terms are. This one was my least favorite of the group. I did not agree with the answer key, so I went with 2 possibilities in your world on your Google form. I will show you what I did, and then I'll show you what I think they meant. There are 2 routes Jasmine can take when she bikes home from school. The long way and the short way. The long way is 1.5 times as far as the short way. During 1 week, she biked a total of 30 miles from school to home. She took the short way 3 times. Now, I was thinking, we've got Jasmine's home. Jasmine goes to school. There's one route Then there's another route. We'll call that one. One is the short way, and one is the long way. But what's interesting is they tell us that the long way is 1.5 times as far as the short way. So that really means that the long way is 1.5 times x. And then they tell me that she goes a total of 30 miles. And I was thinking, oh, it's a typical school week. So she went 5 trips, Monday through Friday. And they said 3 of them were the short way. So in my mind, it was 3 times the short way plus 2 times the long way. All equals 30 miles. I was very comfortable with that. 5 trips, 3 the short way, 2 the long way. So then I started to combine terms and simplify my terms. So 2 times 1.5 is 3. And then I started to doubt myself when I didn't match the answer key. So I'll prove that 2 times 1.5 is in fact 3. I can combine 3x and 3x and get 6x. I can isolate x using inverse operation. And I can get x is equal to 5, which would be the short way. What is the distance of the short way? 5, I thought. 5 is good. And then I thought, okay, how am I going to get the distance of the long way? Well, the distance of the long way is y equals 1.5x. Well, I know x is 5, so I'm just going to do 1.5 times 5. Okay. 1.5 times 5. 7.5. 7.5. Okay. So the long way is 7.5. I felt good about that. And then I tested it. I was like, okay, 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 7.5 is also 15. 15 plus 15 equals 30. So I checked it mentally. But then I checked the answer key and it wasn't the right answer. So this was my answer. So I thought if this is what I got, reading it just like any human being would have read it, this is what I would have put in my Google form. 5 and 7.5. Then I thought, I wonder if they're talking about round trip, because why doesn't it add up? The answer key said that the short way was 10. The answer key said the long way was 15. For me, that was hard, because if she went the short way 3 times, and she only rode a total of 30 miles for the entire week, this wouldn't add up. That would be 30 for her 3 times, and then another 30 for her other 2 times, and that would be 60. I was like, she didn't go 60 miles. So because I was unsure, and this is me assuming that they maybe perhaps mean round trip, both answers were acceptable in the Google form. So, for the short way on the Google form, you could have put 5 or 10. And then for the long way, you could have put 7.5 or 15. These were the only possible choices that I could come up with after testing the problem several times. All right, we're right at 20 minutes. Feel free to go back and resubmit after you watch this video to get a better grade. And I thank you for joining me for the solution set.